Hello YouTube, this is Strunky and I'm gonna do something a little bit different now. There's a T-44-100 marathon coming up, which actually Wargaming has updated today, giving you 6 more extra days. So if you thought it wouldn't be possible to get it, maybe now you can rethink over that. But what it basically is, you can get the T-44-100 premium tank, which has never been available before in the game, for free if you finish all the missions, which is, let's see, with each and every nation in the game, you need to be in a minimum of tier 4. Oh crap, I didn't even know that. And do 150,000 damage and destroy 150 tanks. Now, the damage is obviously easier to do when you're playing higher tiers, but the kills, sometimes it is possible that you may have completed all the damage, but you still need to do kills. And people will then be kill stealing a lot in the game, and I think, regardless of what happens, it's still gonna happen. People are gonna be kill stealing for this mission, but it's better if you use suitable vehicles that can take kills easier instead of kill stealing. So the vehicles that are more likely to get a kill just because it's way easier to do with the kind of gun they have. And that's what I'm gonna show you, and that's what this video is gonna be all about. So I hope you have fun, and I hope this will kind of help you with the T-44-100 missions. Okay, so first we're gonna take a look at the German tech tree, and I have a little spreadsheet over here on my phone where I can keep track of basically the tanks I've noted down. Now, obviously artillery is a good choice. Artillery are good at taking the final kill since they pretty much have map cover and a very high alpha. But you just need to be lucky to actually hit those tanks when you can. But I think artillery is mainly a good choice, especially when you have big guns like the T-92 and the Conqueror gun carriage. So I'm basically gonna skip RT because RT is pretty much always a good choice. But when it comes to Germany, the tank destroyers on tier 10 are very good. They have the Grill 15 and the Jagdpanzer E100, which, the Jagdpanzer E100 has that massive alpha damage of 1050, and the Grill 15 has a very reliable 750 alpha damage gun with great penetration, great accuracy and aiming time, and a movable turret. So those are two very good choices if you have these TDs available in your garage. Speaking of other TDs, the whole glass cannon line of the TDs on the German line is pretty good. You have the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger, which with the big gun would be very good, dealing 750 alpha damage on tier 8 with a rotatable turret as well. It isn't as speedy as the Grill 15, but it can surely get the job done when you have this big gun equipped. Alternatively, if you prefer the L55, you can do that, but I think this would be a little bit better for just securing the kill. Now if we go back to the tech tree, there's obviously the other glass cannons, the Sturr Emil being one very good one of them, having a very nice gun of 490 alpha damage as well, being able to dish out a lot of damage and securing a couple of kills. Just note that you only have 15 shells available on this gun, so that is a little bit risky. You want to make sure every shell counts. And furthermore, well, the Nashorn and the Panzer SFL 4C are all good choices, and so is the Marder 38T and stuff like that. But I think one of the best ones for Germany, though, is the Hetzer, or alternatively the Stug 3B, because they both have those very great derp guns on the low tier available to them. And yeah, on tier 4, if you get into those top tier matches, you can shoot HE or even some heat shells to really easily get a few kills in, no problem. Yeah, moving from TDs to other types of tanks. Going on top of the tech tree again, there's the VK4502B, which has a very good, kind of overpowered front armor, which is, I think, less. I think it's even thicker than the mouse's front, but damn, that is one OP front. And it's not really the gun that does the job, but mostly just the front, which just gives you the ability to play very aggressive and probably secure a few kills up in the front lines, because I think this tank is a little bit overpowered. Well, maybe not even a little bit. Other heavies I wouldn't quickly go, not for the mouse, definitely not the mouse. That thing is way too slow to be securing any kills. Maybe the E100, it's a little bit faster and has that 750 alpha damage gun, but it's not very reliable on the penetration and accuracy, so I'd look out for that. And well, you have the E50s, but wouldn't really go for mediums when it comes to kills. Well, maybe they're mediums with fast firing guns can secure kills, but I'm mostly just looking at the autoloaders and derp guns. Most of these tanks will be autoloaders or derp guns, something like that. Yeah, what do we have left? Well, we have the Panzer IV left, the Panzer IV-H on tier 5, which you can equip with the derp gun, which obviously has very good stats to derp other tanks into oblivion. Even if you're firing a couple of heat shells, that will also be possible. Personally, I have half on half, like, well, 29 HE and 30 heat. So yeah, lots of derping to go around with, and easily possible to secure a couple of kills. Now for the rest, you have a couple of premium tanks available that can be possible to secure a couple of kills with. First one is a very rare tank, the Panzer B2, which has very special matchmaking, can get up to, well, it says here 4 to 5 matchmaking, but I don't believe this thing can go in 5, it's always on tier 4 actually. So I think my mod is incorrect over here. I haven't played this in a while, but as far as my experience goes, this thing always gets into top tier, and it has very good armor, and yeah, it can secure a lot of kills. I've actually got, oh, that's the wrong button. I've actually got a quite impressive collection of medals on this tank. It's 7 steel walls and 7 top guns as well, and even 2 high calibers on tier 4. And well, my average damage isn't that good at the moment apparently, but it's been a long time that I have played it. But yeah, this is a very good tank to be securing these kills. Oh wait, I didn't even look at the kill to death ratio. Destruction rate, yeah, 3.09. It's like enemy vehicles destroyed 269 and I get killed 87 times. It's just insane. Then there's 2 tanks left, which are, I think, pretty capable, which are both tank destroyers, which are the, sorry, 3 tanks actually. First up, the Rheinmetall Scorpion G. Now, I think this is a very good candidate for taking away the kills for the mission, even for doing the damage as well. This is a brand new premium tank. I'm not sure if it's still in the shop. I think it just got removed, or maybe it's about to get removed, something like that. But yeah, this just has a monstrous gun, 490 damage, 246 pen, and you can easily be claiming a lot of kills in this tank. Next one is the beloved E25, which has such a good spammy gun. If you're on the lower tier, then maybe you can shoot a couple of premium rounds just to be sure, but mainly I don't really shoot a lot of premium in this thing. I just make sure to use my speed to flank and shoot in the sides, but this thing can easily secure a lot of kills. And then there's the Kanonenjagd Panzer, which also had the recent buff and got its penetration buff to 238, making it very reliable. It's basically like a tier 8 E25, and with its speed it also has the possibility to, just like the E25, get those kills quickly. And that's pretty much it for Germany. So next up we're gonna go to, well, not Russia, the USSR. Yeah, you know, most people just say Russian, but you know. First up are the tank destroyers. Well, the tier 10 tank destroyers, I don't think, well, maybe For killing, well, I don't really have the experience with the 268, but I would definitely go recommend the ISU 152, because having 750 alpha damage on a tier 8 tank is just very good for getting the kills. So if you have this tank with this big gun, definitely go for it, because this can also just be your damage dealer for the mission. Now you also have like the DPM lines. I think the SU-54, yeah, that's also pretty good alpha damage for his rate of fire. And well, I'm not sure how the 263 is when it comes to making kills, but I do know it has a quite impressive DPM. But so far I've mainly just focused on the ISU to be the best choice here. Maybe the SU-152 with the derp gun as well, but I would just go with the ISU just to be sure. Now, next up you have obviously the most impressive tank in the whole game, which is pretty much the king of making kills, I think. The strong KV-2. Yes, that's for a lot of people maybe the go-to tank when it just comes to being bored and just to, want to let your frustration get out. And yeah, do I have to say anything about this tank? Not really, just this is all you need to know. Alright, just go and make kills. There you go. But if you just want a less derpy experience, even though it's still derpy, you also have the KV-85 available with a good 390 alpha damage on tier 6, which is a very deadly combination. Just make sure you don't get hit over here, because you can catch fire easily. You could even be as crazy to bring a fire extinguisher and even an automatic fire extinguisher with that in case you get set on fire 2 times. But yeah. Now, speaking of going back to TDs, there's also the SU-100, which I forgot about, which has this also awesome 122mm gun, which I currently do not have because I apparently sold it. But if you upgrade it, you get the 122mm gun, which has the same stats as the KV-85, I believe, and you will be able to also get a lot of kills. I think it's a bit more reliable on the accuracy and stuff like that, but this is also a pretty deadly machine when it comes to making kills as well. And the final one, I guess the medium tank, would be the T-34, which has just a very impressive spammy gun which can secure kills pretty easily, I believe. Just look at that rate of fire, that's just insane. Just like a never-ending autoloader, which is a very good choice when claiming kills if you prefer to drive in a medium tank while doing this all. Now, going to the premium tanks, there's quite a lot actually to choose from. Well, 4 as I've actually 5. Let's see, actually not tier 5, this one, yes. Firstly, you have the T-28-F30, which is a tier 4 tank with basically a KV-1 gun, which is a very deadly alpha damage on tier 4, and I think it's very impressive. I've played it some time ago, and yeah, this thing can do the job actually. It's not as fast as a regular T-28, but damn, that gun is just deadly. Next up, well, there's 2 choices on tier 5 when it comes to heavies. You've got the beloved Churchill 3, which a lot of people just play or do a challenge, like just go into cruise control and never stop firing, because, well, this thing just has this awesome spammy gun and the armor to support it. Yeah, people who have the Churchill 3 will understand what I'm talking about. And then there is the KV-220, which is a pretty rare tank to get in the shop, but also has insane armor, even more insane than the Churchill, and that's why it just gets a lot of kills in battles, especially when you're top tier. Then you're pretty much unstoppable against most tanks. Only tank destroyers and stuff, people shooting premium ammo, will be able to stop you. And let's see, then there is of course the SU-100Y, which is a very, very good option for getting kills, especially if you're only shooting premium AP. Yes, that's right, that's my main ammunition on this tank. Not because it gives more pen, because it doesn't. Because if you look at the stats, you can see the regular ammo, then the premium ammo, and then the HE ammo. You can see the penetration goes from 196 to 171, but you gain damage from 440 to 510. Having 510 alpha with 171 pen, that's pretty decent for tier 6. So I'm like, okay, I'll just rather have that extra alpha damage. Maybe I'll just get a few extra premium normal shells in there in case I need more pen, but no, still need to check out my loadout on this tank. But it is a very good option and probably one of my favorites. After that, well, there's the SU-122-44, which is that awesome DPM and mobility with the deadly alpha damage, which is also pretty capable at doing massive damage with a nice amount of kills. There's also the ISU-122S, but it doesn't have the mobility. It does have better reload as far as I know. 8.11 rate of fire against... Come on. 7.5. Yeah, it has better DPM, but it isn't as mobile, so... you could try it, but you know, you'd have to have the enemies coming towards you a bit more. And I guess the SU-85I, well, there's a pretty decent alpha, 160 on tier 5. You could try it, but I'd mainly just go for the SU tank destroyers, the 44 and the 100Y mainly. And that's pretty much the USSR covered. Next up, we're going to the American tech tree, which obviously has a big T-29. So now you have the whole autoloader line, which pretty much has a T-57 heavy, T-44-100, T-69, T-71, which are all pretty good choices because autoloaders are just good at securing kills. It's no different than that. So you could choose any of these autoloaders. Probably the T-54-1 being the most deadly of them all, as far as I've heard from my friends. Then there's obviously the T-49, which has that massive derp gun on a quick little light tank, which will make kills, trust me. It's basically a KV-2, but then it being a light tank. And then there is the amazing M41 Bulldog, which has that 10-shot autoloader, which I would really recommend. It has a nice autoloader, and the aiming time is pretty good. Dispersion isn't as amazing, but the penetration is. So you can just dish out a lot of damage, doing 1,500 damage in your first clip. You're gonna take a long time emptying your clip, but it is very good at making kills. Mostly you'll just have your target killed before your clip is empty, trust me. Next up we have the tank destroyers. Well, I guess the T-30 would be pretty good, but I don't see really anything that special about the American top tank destroyers. But the T-30, well, it has that fully rotatable turret, pretty decent mobility, so it would be pretty good with the 750 alpha damage gun. Other than that, there's the Hellcat, which is a very beloved favorite of a lot of players, but has gotten nerfed as far as I've heard from people. I haven't played it in a while, but I did know that I loved this playing this tank destroyer. Just amazing mobility combined with an amazing gun. A lot of people also love the T-67, which is basically like a tier 5 Hellcat. And well, the accuracy isn't as impressive, but people still manage to hit you a lot. And this tank is just small, sneaky, and can deal a lot of damage quickly. Other than that, let's see. We have the... Yeah, I wanted to name a few of the low tiers, but it's basically tier 4 and higher, which you need to do. I guess the M8A1 is pretty decent as well. It's not a very popular tank, I think. Well, maybe it is, but it has a pretty decent gun as I can remember. Yeah, 110 pen on tier 4. That's pretty good. The accuracy isn't as amazing, but so wasn't the one of the T-67. The aiming time is good, so yeah, this thing could probably get the job done as well when you need some extra kills and you like just derping around on tier 4. Then there's also the T-40 if you like a bit more of a derpy approach, which has a... Do I have it equipped? Yeah, the 105mm howitzer, which I remember playing and derping people a lot. If you're top tier, that is. But remember, this thing just doesn't have any armor over here on the superstructure. Maybe a little bit over here on the bottom, but yeah, that would be a pretty decent choice. And then there is the either the Wolverine with the spam gun or the derp gun. It has basically two guns to choose from, 76mm and the 105mm. You could choose either one because one has a great rate of fire and the other one just has the derpy power. And then there is the regular M4 Sherman, which also has two guns to choose from, but when you just want to make those kills, you're probably better off using the 105mm gun to derp people in the face. I think that is about it for the regular American tanks. Well, you could maybe, I guess, the E5. Well, people say it's OP, but I think it's exaggerated. The T110 E5 is not really that OP, in my opinion, because I haven't had much trouble dealing with them, and mostly when I encounter them, they're just driven by very good players. But the lower plate of the E5 is not anything that's ridiculously hard to pen or anything. I just shoot at the lower plate and you'll pen. I guess when it's hold on you can switch to premium ammo, but you'll pen like 9 out of 10 times anyway if you'll shoot the cupola with premium ammo. Yeah, for the premiums you don't have that much choice because it's basically, you know, like all the regular tanks are pretty much better, but you could go for the T-34, but it's pretty slow. It has a good alpha damage, but it's just pretty slow, and it is my most played tank, however, but you know, it's you're better off playing others. And then there's the Scorpion, which is very sneaky, basically like the E25, but not as spammy. But then again, you're probably better off using one of the other ones in the regular tree instead of this one. And if you're very good at the Fury like me, then I guess you can play with that or the Ram 2. But I just think with Americans, you're better off playing regular tanks instead of premiums. Alright, next, the French ones. Use any tank and you'll be getting kills. No, just kidding. But a lot of tanks have autoloaders. Of course, just most tanks with autoloaders will be a good choice. So you have the Foch 155, which has that 3-shot autoloader of 750 damage. Definitely be getting kills with that thing. It's a 50B in the bad chat. All good choices. So yeah, pretty much anything with an autoloader. So that includes the Foch 155, the 50B bad chat, AP, the 5120, 5100. And then there's the lights, the 1390, 1375, and the 1210. Maybe the ELC. It's a pretty derpy little fast scout. So very fun to play, but I'm not sure if it's that good at making kills. It'll get a few kills every match, though. And then the non-autoloaders. The S35CA, I think it's pretty underrated, actually. Because it just... You never heard that much about it, but it has 175 pen on tier 5. That's insane. With 300 alpha damage. Very good. You'll be really saying hi to a lot of people in this tank. Yeah, a lot of people won't expect this thing to do so much damage. So that's a very good choice. And if you're just looking for an alternative to the Hetzer, you can get the SAU 40, which if you upgrade it with all the required modules, you can get another shitty gun, and then you can get the actual derp gun, which it's kind of weird because the caliber, oh well, the caliber barely looks like it doesn't change, but it actually does, like from the inside. But you'll just get this derp gun, so it's basically a slower, less armored Hetzer at the moment. But you know, even if it's that, it's still better than some other tanks. You can just derp people in the face like you can with the Hetzer, but you cannot take hits yourself with the Hetzer. So like with the Hetzer, so it's basically a more glass cannon version of the Hetzer, which pretty much makes it inferior to the Hetzer in any way possible. But it still is good at securing those kills if you just manage to shoot the enemy first before you get shot. Other than that, well, there's stuff like the G1R, which I haven't played yet. I do have it in my garage, but it does have a derp gun, and it does have a flat pancake stock turret, which I still need to upgrade when I want to get the free XP for it. But it has this derp gun, which would be pretty capable on tier 5 of getting kills. And yeah, I haven't seen this tank a lot, but I know for sure with that gun you'll be able to make kills. And well, there's the Panzer B1, but I don't know. There's also the AMX 40, which it has pretty good armor, but you need to be top tier with this thing to actually do anything. So yeah, you'll want to upgrade it, especially the engine, because it's slow as heck anyway. Get the turret and then get this gun and shoot HE with it as well, because HE can be pretty effective with this thing. And yeah, this thing when top tier, yeah, it can be a tanky little thing, very dangerous. But yeah, that's up to you. Other than that, the premiums of the French. Well, there's the 1375 8-shot autoloader, which just derps away the clip very fast. But I'm not sure if it's that good of a choice, because per shot the alpha is low and the clip damage isn't very high either. But you could try. I'm pretty sure it can make a few kills, but mostly I just feel like I'm just spending a lot of time shooting small little damage rolls, and then someone else kills it while I'm in the process. Now, too bad this thing, this mission is only for tier 4 and higher, otherwise this would be an excellent choice, so I'm gonna skip that. The Revalorize, pretty decent choice. You could go better, but you obviously could go worse as well. That's a pretty good gun, 200 pen, 390 alpha damage. Just watch out not to get hit yourself, but this could maybe get the job a bit done. But obviously the best choice here would be the LFH. Premium artillery, this thing just has an amazing gun. You will mostly hit stuff and just kill it. Yeah, just look out for these things. And then there's the scouts, which will bounce on this thing occasionally as well. Very dangerous, very good choice for getting the kills. Next up, there are the British tanks, and well, don't even have to say anything, just use this thing, or use this thing, and you'll be golden. Alright, good. Yeah, those things will just make, yeah, that will just kill anything. Then the Tortoise is, I actually do not want to research that, thank you. The Tortoise is also a very good option, because it has just that insane DPM. And if you get this gun, yeah, you'll be golden, you'll be just wrecking stuff. You'll be loaded in a couple of seconds. I'm not sure, does it say the actual reload time over here? I do not see it. Reload time 6.8. That's, I think, with the stock crew even. Yeah, but that's just insane for 400 damage. You will be just doing a lot of damage, 259 pen as well. Tortoise, good option as well if you do not have any of the Death Stars yet. And maybe the Conway. I haven't really looked at the Conway because I don't have it yet. I'm still on the Challenger. It only has one gun, a 120 millimeter. Well, yeah, well, actually, yeah. Also, nice rate of fire. I don't think it's as fast as the Tortoise. It's the same gun as on the Tortoise, but I don't think the rate of fire is the same. 7.69 against 8.45. So it's basically like a more mobile version, but no armor. But you could try it because it has a turret. Other than that, there's obviously the beloved Cromwell, which just if you like the Cromwell, then you will just make kills with it. You will. Anything else? Well, the 82 is a very good option. I actually managed to get 2 Top Guns in this thing in a row. So it was like one match Top Gun, next match Top Gun, and I was just driving forward. The main reason you could just get kills with this thing is just because it has the insane armor on tier 5. You could also consider using the howitzer, but I think it's a bit too derpy for this thing. I just like to be precise and keep on spamming people in the face doing damage. But yeah, this thing is pretty good. It's a bit slow though. Then there is, well, like I said, artillery, but then you have the bird, which is the accurate artillery, but it got nerfed, so I'm not sure how it performs nowadays, but you could try it. And the bishop, which is a bit slower, but it is accurate. It will hit what it's aiming at, and you need to be a little bit careful with where you place your tank, because your reach isn't as far as any other artillery, so you'll be in dangerous situations. But once you've mastered the bishop, it's a very fun tank to play with. And the Electo is also a pretty fun option. At least I hear a lot of people say that this tank sucks, but I know, I liked it. Just pop that howitzer on it and you're golden. You're basically like a tier 4 ELC AMX, but with a little bit derpier gun. It's pretty fun. You're just cruising around and just derping people in the butt. And last but not least, certainly the Matilda. Now this thing just is great. It's slow, but the gun is just amazing on this thing. 121 penetration on tier 4, that's insane. 55 damage, but compensates with the 28.6 rate of fire. You'll be able to just quickly take out any tank, just spamming him to death with that reliable gun. Just make sure you'll get to the enemy before your team does, because that thing is slow. It does require your team to be a bit slow on you as well. And yeah, that is about it for the regular British tanks. Now there's the premiums left, which I could only find 2. Obviously the Cromwell B being the first option, which is no, a very good choice if you like the Cromwell and have the Cromwell B available to you. And the other one, I think maybe the AT-15A, but I'm not sure. It has that very nice spammy gun, but it is slow. It's a bit risky. But then again, some other tanks I've named were a bit risky as well, like the 82 and stuff. But you could try. This is an amazing tank after all. But yeah, next up are the Chinese. It's going to be a bit shorter because the next few tech trees will all be a bit shorter. So firstly you have the WZ-120 medium tank, which has this awesome alpha damage of 440 on a medium tank. You'll surely be able to scare people away with that on a medium tank. And then there's the WZ-111-14, which has this 130mm gun with 490 alpha damage. It's even more than the tier 10 has after this, because then it gets back to 440. So it's actually the highest alpha damage on the Chinese is on the tier 9 heavy. Yeah, so that would be a good choice as well. People really seem to like this tank. Then there is, I guess, the T-44-2 and the T-44-1, which have pretty high alpha damage. You could try going for those, but I don't think there's really anything other possible. And when it comes to the premiums, there's only the T-34-3 available, which is, I prefer to play this one instead of the T-34-2 because this thing has a bit more reliable armor, and that gets me out of those sticky situations when I need to. Even though the T-34-2 is a bit more sneaky and less armored, I don't know, when it comes to having such a derpy heavy gun, I just prefer having that extra bit of armor and reliability. Other than that, there's only like the Type T-34 left for you to choose from. Just like the T-34 on the Russians, it has that spammy gun which gives you the ability to spam people to death quickly. And that is about it for the Chinese. I think. No, wait, there's also the 5916, which has that autoloader gun, which I did not use, but that's mainly because of its crappy penetration. But if you have premium ammo with you, you could make better use of that autoloader for sure. Going on to the Japanese. Well, you'd basically want to use the OI or the OI Experimental. The OI Experimental has this amazing 300 damage gun on tier 5 with 130 pen, and has the mobility to back it up. It doesn't have that much armor though, but that thing got nerfed anyway, and it was overpowered before the nerf. I haven't played it since the nerf, but it might still be very good. And there's the OI with the 150mm howitzer, basically like an armored KV-2. And then there's pretty much the whole heavy line having that same 150mm gun every time. And then there's the Type 4 and Type 5, which also have very good alpha guns doing 600 damage. Pretty much, I think pretty much all of the heavies are a good choice, except for the tier 4, tier 3. Yeah, do not choose those. Even though I enjoyed one of the two. I don't remember which it was. I think, yeah, the tier 3 I enjoyed, but the tier 4 I didn't. Something like that. And when it comes to the mediums, I'd only kind of recommend the Cheery, because that's that autoloader, which has a 3 shell clip, doing 130 damage per shell. So you could try going for that amazing little Cheery. Well, actually big Cheery, which I kind of miss. It's been a long time since I played it, and I really enjoyed it. Love this tank. When it comes to premiums, I wouldn't really recommend any. Well, yeah, no, just don't look at the premiums for getting kills. They are good premiums though, but for really farming kills, you're better off going with the OIs and stuff. And then the Czechs are the last one. Yeah, pretty much the autoloader tanks, which is a Skoda TVP, or I'm not even sure if it's a Skoda, the TVP 51 on tier 10 with the 100mm autoloader surely will make a lot of kills on the battlefield. And there's the tier 9, which also has the autoloader with 3 shells, also being able to dish out a lot of kills. And there's a TVP on tier 8, which as far as I know does not have an autoloader at all, so I would skip that. And T-44-100 you could try, but it has a good 100mm gun and mobility, so you could try. But then there's a Skoda T-25, which is pretty much my favorite tank so far of the Czechs. Holy crap, this thing is amazing. Just, yes, this is just an amazing tank. Amazing. Just this gun, really fun. So yeah, that's a good choice with the autoloader. And the Skoda T-24, well, not sure. It was a fun tank, but it's mostly just because it has such a reliable gun on tier 5. 2.3 aiming time, 0.38 accuracy. That's very good stats for a tier 5 medium tank. The only downside is the rate of fire. You get compensated with that, just giving you a bad reload compared to other tier 5s. But you will be able to quickly hit tanks and being more accurate on tier 5. And there's, yeah, it's pretty much the most reliable gun on the tier 5 mediums. So you could try going it that way. Other than that, the Skoda T40 isn't, well, it has a decent alpha gun, the ALS 56 basically. which did get buffed, so you could do 220 damage, but I wouldn't really go for that if you have the autoloaders to choose from. So those are basically all the tanks I would pretty much recommend in World of Tanks to get your kills done for the missions. I'm not sure if they are still available. Unavailable, don't see it, but whatever, it'll be there, and you will have to earn your tokens. And if you need any more kills, just choose any of these tanks I've named, and you'll be good to go. And yeah, good luck getting that T-44-100. I will get it in any way possible, because I'll just be farming the tokens, and whatever I'll have left to farm I'll just buy, so I'll have it regardless. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope this video will help you getting that tank, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.